Hi there, this is David, and welcome to the top 10 best indie RPGs that are worth your time. As we all know, in the past decade or so, these indies began as a trickle, but they've definitely turned into a flood. It seems like there's like a new one being released every single day, if not every single hour. There's just so many of them. So it's really hard to figure out what's good and what's bad, and to get down to the nitty-gritty and really separate the wheat from the chaff. So I'm here to help you out with 10 indie RPGs that are definitely worth your time. Number 10, Arafel. Released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, mobile, and PC. This is a 16-bit retro-inspired JRPG with turn-based battles, taking place on the floating continent of Arafel, where you discover the ruins of an ancient civilization destroyed due to a war between the elves and the vampires. Encounters are on-screen and take place in a turn-based fashion with a turn order gauge on the top of the screen. The battles are fun and fast-paced, and thankfully, you are fully healed after each encounter, so you can go all out with your attacks. And you're going to need to, because the game can be pretty hard at times, especially those boss fights. However, the game does kind of give you a get-out-of-jail-free card with the story mode attack. Basically, if you use it, you win. This is great for clearing out those randoms. Quality of life features abound, and it never feels like drudgery, and that's a really nice touch in a roughly 15-hour quest. Number 9, Omori. Released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. Earthbound-inspired JRPGs seem to be like a dime a dozen, but this one is kind of special, as it also introduces elements of psychological horror, and portions of the game do take place in the world of dreams, where everything's kind of happy and goofy, but the other half takes place in the real world, where everything is serious and tragic. The turn-based combat system has a unique twist involving your emotions, sadness, happiness, and anger, which cancel each other out kind of like rock, paper, scissors. As you progress in the game, you'll delve deeper into its twisted interior layers and unravel them like an onion. There are choices to make which can have different outcomes for how the game progresses, and you get different endings based upon all those decisions that you make. As you progress, you're definitely going to get invested into the characters and their emotional depth. But just be wary if you have some sort of depression yourself, because this game is not for the faint of heart. Number 8, Jack Move. Released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. This one actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the Phantasy Star series. Maybe it's the battle system, maybe it's the futuristic world and the 16-bit graphics, or how the planet is actually controlled by an evil machine. I don't know. But this is a bite-sized retro cyberpunk RPG where you play as a small-town girl taking on the most powerful corporation in the world to rescue her kidnapped yet estranged father. But she does this the only way that she knows how, through the power of hacking. Noah, her best friend Ryder, and her drunken ex-CIA spy uncle will have to work together to hack your enemies to deal damage, heal, or cause debuffs. The battles are turn-based, and due to cybernetics, there is a lot of character customization. If you want to give it a shot, there's actually a demo available on the Nintendo Switch, and honestly, you can actually finish the entire game in just one long day if you really wanted to. It's not that long at all. Number 7, Rise of the Third Power. Released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. It should come as no surprise to anybody watching that I love a good retro RPG, and this one is really quite the gem. From the same developer as Arafel, it's loosely based upon the political climate of Europe in the late 1930s. The story takes place in the land of Rin during the height of the Age of Discovery, following the events that would lead to the greatest war in human history. Encounters are on-screen, and the dungeons are puzzle-based, similar to something that you would find in like Lufia 2, Golden Sun, or even Zelda. It's never just a straight shot. You're always going to be needing keys and hitting switches in order to proceed. Also, while you do have plenty of party members, you'll actually level up as a team, not individually. So don't worry about anybody getting left behind, and you can experiment and swap your party members freely. Number 6, CrossCode. released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. So far, we've really just covered some turn-based RPGs, but this one here breaks the mold. It is a puzzle-based action RPG, where you play as a mute spheromancer who's sucked into a video game world. Think something like .hack. But this is much more action-orientated, with a focus on platforming and puzzle solving. There's a lot going on here. As a spheromancer, you can fire orbs to stun and damage enemies, as well as hit switches and even ricochet them off walls. Then, there's the skill tree, where you can build up your hero any way that you would like. You can focus on ranged attacks, close combat, or special moves if you want to. Honestly, I didn't feel like the story was a high point or anything. It kind of felt like it was written by some emo high schoolers, but I really stayed for that addictive gameplay, great platforming, and gorgeous, fun environments. Number 5. Bug Fables, released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. This is Paper Mario in all but name. The developer here seemed to be sick of waiting for a proper sequel to those games, and then he just took the best parts of Thousand Year Door and brought them into the modern age. This is a true love letter to Paper Mario, with atmospheric music and witty dialogue. Everything that you know and love from the seminal series is here, from medals, to timed attacks, to multiple party members, to a whimsical kind of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sort of environment. But instead of just controlling Mario and one partner, here you have a full 3-bug party, with Kabu the Beetle, who focuses on attacking ground-based enemies, V the Bee with his boomerang, who's great at dealing with the flyers, and Leaf, the magical moth, who can deal extra damage to plants. You're going to have to utilize all 3 of them to win battles, as well as progress through the dungeons with their out-of-battle exploration abilities. Number 4. Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark, released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. Do all y'all remember Black Sigil? No? Well, I do, and I loved it, despite all of its flaws. This is actually from the same development team, but instead of going that turn-based route, they went the tactical route, and let me tell you, they did it right. I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics eat your heart out. This game does everything that that Watershed game did, but I dare say, it actually kinda does it better. Well, except for these cell phone quality graphics. But if you can look past that, everything else is fantastic. From the tight, suspenseful, gripping storyline, to the fun characters that you meet, to the robust and well-developed job system, along with its associated skill trees, the game is just pure fun. Even the maps are inventive. No two ever look the same. So get ready to play around some elevations, elements, and terrains in this wonderful spiritual successor that does everything right. Number 3. Cosmic Star Heroine, released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. Quite honestly, I like all of those Zeboyd games. I actually remember back when the indie scene was first beginning, and it was new, and it was exciting, and one of the first big name games on the scene was Breath of Death 7. Titled obviously as an homage to Breath of Fire and Final Fantasy VII, and while the game had absolutely nothing to do with either of those two titles, it was still a lot of fun. Nowadays though, they are all over the place, so you really have to make something special in order to be noticed, and they definitely did here with this sci-fi Phantasy Star meets Chrono Trigger inspired adventure. Taking place in a futuristic landscape filled with spies, robots, and rock stars, this is a modern take on a medieval classic, and a damn good one too. With quirky characters, on-screen counters, and attacks based on positioning, this is really a winner. Number 2. Crystal Project, released for the PC. This is a gem of an indie game, and I honestly haven't really played anything like it. It's essentially what would have happened if The Legend of Zelda met 3D Game Heroes met Final Fantasy V. This is a completely open world game where you control 4 warriors of light, then go off exploring the open world, beating bosses and lighting crystals, which give you more jobs, just like in Final Fantasy V. The battles are turn-based, and each region is distinctly beautiful and fun to traverse. The exploration is top-notch, as here you explore open regions and fight those turn-based battles, collecting crystals to unlock new jobs, and then going from town to outfit your team. I mean, really, it's actually kind of shocking that a genre twist like this has not yet been done before by a major publisher. And I have got to give credit where credit is due, as a lot of these indies lately are really better than what the big boys are putting out. And number 1, Chained Echoes, released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. A lot of ink has been spilled about this game in the past month or so. Everyone and their mother is talking about it, and some people might say that it's overhyped because of that, but I don't think so. I think that people just know a good game when they see it, and if it wasn't good, it would have been lost to the never-ending deluge of shitty RPGs that come out every single day on Steam. But this really did buck the trend, evoking a 90s era and truly channeling Final Fantasy III goodness. This hits all those great nostalgia notes in all the right ways, while still being its own thing. The bonus board allows for tons of challenges, there's a class system, skill trees, hidden areas, a gripping storyline, and most badass of all, you get to control mechs, where you can fly across the screens that you could only previously run across. With the newly added quality of life features that came out a couple of weeks ago too, this is really just what the doctor ordered. Well, that's it for the top 10 best indies that are definitely worth your time. Which of these indies did you like the best? And what other games do you think are really worth your time that I haven't covered? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video and what I do on the channel, please consider supporting me over on Patreon for exclusive videos and early access to my content, heading on over to Twitch for some streaming fun, or coming on over to my Discord to chat and hang out. The links to them all can be found in the video description. This has been David, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.